Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me today on this typical British morning. My name is Richard Munro. I'm a Senior Business Development Manager here at Drooms. I appreciate you taking the time to join our second webinar in our three-part series about Brian, the fund/asset/portfolio manager. The plan for today is that we will, one, give a brief introduction as to who we are and what we do. Two, we're going to briefly recap on our previous session, which was given by my colleague Michelle. And then three, we're going to dive into one of our portfolio data rooms to show some tips around structuring your data in the most efficient way possible to save you time. Now, there's a box to your right where you can type questions, which I'll then happily answer at the end of the webinar. All in all, I expect to take about 20 minutes of your time today. So firstly, you can see a bit about Drooms there. Now, for better or worse, and as sad as it may sound to some, we have been in this business for 20 years. Now, that's 20 years of providing data rooms, technology, and service, both for transactions and for asset/portfolio/fund management. So we consider ourselves to be somewhat experienced in the matter, as it has been our sole focus all this time. We have 5 core tenets that we call the 5 S's, which drive our company. They are service, security, speed, scalability, and simplicity. And I'll be demonstrating all 5 of those tenets to you today. So, just starting with a recap. This is Brian. For the purpose of this series, we've said that Brian is a fund manager, but in reality, he could be an asset manager, portfolio manager, or anyone in between who is responsible for the management of asset information. In our last episode, my colleague Michelle discussed the challenges Brian faced for cross-border transactions and asset management, and she showed some solutions using Drooms Portfolio. So, first of all, what is Drooms Portfolio? So, it's a cloud storage and sharing solution and a whole lot more. So, it's an intelligent and secure platform management data room that allows for fast and secure management of multiple assets through their hold phase, all under one umbrella. As a keynote, I'd like to mention that, although this is one of the most common use cases, there are many others out there. But for today, we'd like to focus on Brian and his needs. So Drooms Portfolio centralizes data in a secure and structured way for the whole life cycle of assets within a fund. It also increases transparency, reactivity, and the speed at which the asset can be set up, structured, and of course, sold. So Portfolio minimizes risks by enabling better control and delivers process automation at a scale with next generation tools, which you're going to see today as well. So that's a bit about Portfolio. Now, before we jump into a portfolio data room, it's worth taking a moment to understand why digitization is important. In a recent survey, we polled 538 institutional investors about various aspects of data management, including digitization. And the results paints a clear picture. Now, although there are many interesting pieces of information presented here, firstly, I'd wanted to draw your attention to 2 of the bullet points. So the first being on the left-hand side, 29% of those 538 institutional investors said that the lack of applications to replace paper-based processes was a key weakness in European real estate technology. And then also the other bullet point down the bottom left, 43% believe that digitization will have a positive impact on the efficiency of business processes, followed by 30% saying it will bring significant competitive advantage, and 27% saying it will provide a dramatic cost reduction. So you can see a large percentage believe that digitization is the way forward and will provide benefits to adopters. So the focus of today's webinar is to show how Drooms can help provide dramatic cost reduction. And then our next session in 2 weeks' time will focus on giving you competitive advantage when you go to market. You can also see there it mentions 10% inadequate security. And on a quick side note, a couple of months ago, I presented a webinar on the importance of data security and how Drooms is leading the market and providing security to its clients' information, which is, you can see another important topic based on these findings. And if you're interested in finding more about that aspect of Drooms, I'll be happy to have a conversation offline at a time that suits. For now, though, let's hop online and see what Brian has been up to since we last saw him a few weeks ago. For this, I'm going to enlist the help of my colleague Sasha, who is an operations specialist here at Drooms. So, thanks, Sasha. So we're just going to log in, and it looks like Brian's been busy. So when we last saw him, he only had his hotel portfolio on the left there, but now it looks like he's got a UK-focused portfolio as well. So we'll hop in and we'll take a look there. And this is giving you an overview of that portfolio. We can see 4 assets here, one of which looks brand new, named New Assets. It doesn't have a name. It doesn't have an image there on it for the asset at all. So firstly, let's name the asset, and then we'll put up an image so it's easier to differentiate. Now, you can select, see we've given it a name there as well, Office London. You can select several images to create an expose, which may come in handy when inviting the operating partners or auditors or what have you. But for now, we're just going to add one image for our own reference. You could also choose to name the assets whatever you like. Note that after doing that, you can then use the search bar to search through all your assets as well as the file names themselves. So whether your portfolio is large or small, it's always easy to get the information you want quickly. Obviously, a very important part of digitization, one of the benefits there. So now that we've got a pretty picture and we've named our asset, let's pop inside it, and we need to put an index in the data room. So an index is basically the skeleton for the data room, and this is the and for this, standardization is hugely important. If you can standardize the way your indexes and folders are set up, it goes a long way to making the day-to-day use of the information faster and more efficient. Now, Drooms provides standard indexes at client requests, and we can have see there over on the top far right. And in fact, we help develop the German GIF index, which you can see on your screen, which is the standard for real estate indexes throughout Germany. Or we can also help create a customized index as well for your particular requirements. Now, for Brian, he's got this GIF index in place. It was the same one he used for his office in Edinburgh, which was we could see was one of his assets. And you can see with it, it's very important. It's very easy to export or import your own indexes. It's a couple of clicks there. You can see highlighting on the export button if you wanted to copy that index over. Or alternatively, you can also right-click and then just import an index as well, as being highlighted by Sasha there. Okay, so great. We've got a named assets, we've got an image, we've got an index, so we're all ready to start putting data in. And this is usually where the massive headache starts, making sure all of the data that comes with your asset goes into the right place. And this is where we believe Drooms can save you significant time and therefore cost. So let's take a look at auto allocation and auto naming. You can see it down the bottom there. It says auto allocation, and it's as simple as drag and dropping. So we can see Sasha's hovering over there. If we let go and let that one go in, we can see that we've got 3 files ready to upload. Now, we want to respect your time, so we're only going to upload these 3 files for Brian, but it is drag and drop, and the process works the same if it was 500 files, let's say. But one thing I do want you to take note of is just the names of those files. They're less than useful. I think I see random.doc, scan123, and TRSY as well. So once we've dropped those files in, it starts the auto allocation process. And there are 3 stages behind that process, which you can see ticking away on the right. The first one is uploading, which is already done, very quick and simple. 2, processing. 3, allocating. So the uploading step is pretty straightforward. As we showed, you just drag and drop. The processing step is a bit more involved on the Drooms side. We take that uploaded file, we convert it to a TIFF file and a PDF, and we begin the process of optical character recognition, or OCR. This is where the document is scanned such that the document becomes searchable, interpretable, and translatable. Besides for use in auto naming and auto allocation, this step also makes the document visible to our search feature, which can search across your entire portfolio, no matter how many assets are involved, and do a deep search into the files themselves. Now, at the moment, Drooms has an initial success rate of 97 to 98% character recognition and 96% word recognition. And in addition, we have custom processing, post-processing, which aims to further improve results. Now, the third step, which you can see we sort of highlight a little bit there, is where the AI kicks in. It learns your preferences for where documents should go, and it allocates them accordingly. We can see we're in file 3.7 real estate, then the leases of the real property, and then we've got those 2 documents that have been filed away there. And we can actually see that it's offering a name as well, lease agreement Dubai, and the date 2018 February 22. If we were to quickly hop into that file, we can see that there, we've got the date there, 22nd of the 2nd 8. We've got the address as Dubai, and it's a lease agreement as well. So it's all being picked up and scanned. Now, it also asks, you could see that it asks us to confirm that we're happy with that name, which we are. And you can also see that little red X and green tick box that came up. And essentially, we're being asked to give this a tick across. And if it is in the correct place, then great. If not, you can press the X, it will delete it, and then the AI will learn and get better and better as well. Now, don't worry, your data is not being shared with anyone else to teach the AI. You'll have your own custom AI when you sign up with Drooms, and it's based on your specific set of documentation and your specific requirements as well. So we can see all the files have been allocated. They're in the correct place with the new name that gives meaning to the document beyond what has started. Now, the naming convention for the documents can be changed as well. We've got it there as document type with which party and which location rather, and then the date. And as the other files come in, we can just repeat this process as well. Now, what we'll do is I mentioned that it's all become searchable as well. So if we go out into the data, out into the main area of the data room, we can now have a look at that straight away by using that search file up the top. And if we were to search, that document would now be viewable as well, all in one quick and easy step. Now we can see it showing up there. So imagine the time saved by using this process for all documents. That's auto allocation and auto naming, not just for the 3 that we've done. Huge time saver there. Now, the question is, what if now that we have our files allocated, what about if we need someone else to upload files, such as solicitors or operating partners? You want to be able to delegate those tasks and therefore save yourself more time. And that's straightforward with Drooms as well. We're going to add a group and give them some access to a particular area of the data room. So for this example, Brian's got some lawyers that he wants to upload some documents to the legal file. So we only want them to have access to the new asset, and we only want them to have access to a particular folder. So we simply add in the relevant emails, send them an invite, and great, they've been added as a group there as well. So once we click into that group, we can see the various levels of permission, and we're going to set those permissions up for those lawyer group. And at Drooms, our data rooms provide 4 levels of access. So we can see them highlighted here by Sasha. The eyeball there is for view only, and that's so that they can view it inside the data room only. The next one along is printing to PDF, and that can be saved with or without a watermark, depending on your preference. And then finally, you can allow them to save the source file and then finally, uploading. And so we can either give them permission to edit the file and folders, or upload files and folders, or also upload the files once you've approved the document that they're suggesting. And that's it. They can now upload their documents to the right area of the asset without having access to anything you don't want them to. And that's it really. So how fast, how simple is that to structure your asset data? Pretty straightforward. So to tie into our previous webinar on cross-border asset management, the question is, what if this document is in a foreign language? Can we still use auto allocation? Well, let's go back to Brian's hotel portfolio that we saw when we first hopped in. And he needs to allocate a file into his Munich hotel data room, and it just so happens to be in German, funnily enough. So we're looking now at his portfolio. We've gone into the Munich hotel, and the process is the same. We can see the auto allocation down the bottom there. We drag and drop the file that we want to put in, and we start the magic. So while that is cooking away, I wanted to just briefly touch on another important aspect of structuring, which isn't thought about too much, which is actually the billing. So at Drooms, we recognize that a single bill for an entire portfolio can create a lot of work for Brian, as he would have to break it down and manually allocate the costs to single assets. Oh, it's a lot of work for him. So instead, with Portfolio, we bill each asset individually. These invoices can be sent to the responsible SPVs, which help Brian avoid a whole bunch of work. The assets, the invoices themselves are generated individually. They're sent to the responsible SPVs. We can even have them sent to the right email addresses within those SPVs. And so the costs don't have to be processed at the fund level. You can delegate those tasks, basically avoiding a whole bunch of work, therefore just saving you time, therefore saving you some money. So with that, we're going to quickly finally pop back into our German data room. We'll see how Brian's getting along. We can see that if we look there, we're in the processing stage. So just once again, that was uploading the PDF file and the TIFF file, scanning the document, making it searchable, making it translatable and readable. We can see here that it looks like it's been placed in. So let's go have a look. We'll see we've got a name there suggesting land registry for the extract. If we just move that auto allocation out the way, we can see the file is in German, very much so. So let's translate it. So we can copy the image, and then we're just going to translate that across into English. Brilliant. And we can see up the top there, the first thing is saying land registry. So there we go. Perfect. Land registry. There we go. So once again, the same works across languages. Now, our auto allocation technology is currently available in both English and German, and we have French and Spanish coming shortly. And the aim is to have all languages that Drooms currently translates to represented. Great. So today, we've spent the last short while showcasing part of Drooms' toolset to show how we can save you time and reduce costs by speeding up the way you structure your data. My contact details are on the screen in case you want to continue the conversation offline. But for now, if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. Or like I say, you can contact me on the below. We'll take a quick look here. Well, you know what they say, silence is golden. So that's it from me today. Please be aware that we have a third and final webinar this time, at same time, but in 2 weeks, when we're going to show you how you can get your assets transaction ready and quick. Transaction ready quickly. In the meantime, though, please do not hesitate to get in touch if you think there's any way we could help you or your clients. Okay, goodbye. Have a great day. Thanks for coming. Bye now.